Hello, everybody. Welcome to No Crime, No Time. Let me get over here and fix that for you. So, I'm speechless. It's an open mic, so I'm going to be reading a lot of comments. We can talk about whatever you guys want. 2020 sucks. You can talk about anything you want. This channel will now shift a little bit because that's why I took a step back. I had to take care of me for a while. But it's time to start looking at what the Steve Avery case has done for us. What Stephen Avery has done has broke every concept that any of these corrupt MFs could have imagined. Everything they feared is now 10,000-fold because the world is waking up to the corruption that's not just county, that leads to the state, to Peg Lautenschlager, but right up to Janet Reno. And that was who was the Attorney General. So there's the case. It was a political war to hide all the corruption that's coming out here in 2020. So this channel is going to be more about waking up to the corruption and not buying into the fake news. I'm going to be doing a lot of spiritual work because we have to get right within ourselves before we can change the way that things are going down. I believe that we all have the right to our own belief. I think 2020 is their spiritual awakening to look at your own gut feeling rather than trust the garbage being fed to us on a regular basis. So there you go. I broke the ice, and now you guys can feel free to throw out any conspiracy theory you want. You can talk about the Avery case. You can talk about current events. Before we dig in, I'm going to take this moment. So, we've lost an amazing, passionate warrior that set the bar so high and he shined so bright. I had such immense respect for Richard, or aka Eric Cozy, and all the Coz heads and their wrecking crew. I was fortunate to be a part of it, honored to be a part of it for a short time, and then I just ventured out because I felt like, I could be a second voice. And I think everybody that knows me, I never felt like there was a feeling of competition between me and Richard at all. It was camaraderie. He did his thing, I did mine, and we both admired each other. So to hear of the loss of him in this battle left me actually nauseous, because I know we all put on our armor, and we all open up the books, and his nor mine nor Paul's or Andrew's or whoever is out there doing YouTube, none of us are against each other. We are all for each other because you guys make our channel, and to lose the star of the show at such a young age, we have to carry on the battle, but we need to do it on a larger scale. And at this point, my channel and where I'm being divinely guided is to step up and beyond this tunnel vision of just the Avery case. Look at all the wrongful conviction cases, look past that, and look at what's going on with us right now. We have got, so back before the pandemic, I went through a tower moment with YouTube because YouTube was selling children's information to third parties that we as creators were signing up unknowingly to certain advertisements that caused this situation. And YouTube got fined $170 million. And I'm sure if you haven't been online, you wouldn't have heard about it. But if you've been online, you've heard about the COPA law, which is the Child Protective Act. And when I found out, I was devastated. And very shortly after that, I demonetized everything I could so that there would be no risk. And it was to protect the children, because I have, an immense respect for all parents that want to protect their children's private information. Fortunately, YouTube has allowed me to remain on here even though I'm demonetized on any Avery stuff. I did see that some of my other channel that weren't Stephen Avery related was monetized, so I will be digging in to find out why. And if I've clicked the wrong button, I will correct it. It don't matter what people think about us little YouTubers where we have 5,000 subscribers or 7,000 subscribers. It amounts to about, $20 a month, and you have to pay your premium out of that. So you don't even have enough to buy a pizza. So I say for the last time, hats off to you, Richard Eric Cozy, because I can't imagine the dedication and passion that you have just evaporating from us. So I see you now the best way I can see this as I walk on my spiritual path, and I ask others to join me on the awakening of showing this, continuing to fight this fight, that I loved everything you did. I truly did. You are going to be a spiritual warrior for us. We did the cards not too long ago on video, and Brendan Dassey got activation from the divine in his case, and I said there would be forward movement, and we have to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good in the circle of life. And I know, Richard, with your life goal was to bring Brendan home. I now can look at this and go, okay, what can I pull good out of this? And that is that you've become a true spiritual warrior. You were already a spiritual warrior. You were fighting for the truth. And so there's no doubt that you have become one of those angels in the sky that's going to look over Brendan. And I feel that from the bottom of my heart. So, all right, guys, I'm going to jump over here to chat because it's going wild. I just had to get things off my chest. This channel will be changing to fight to wake us up, because we have to get right within us so that we can make some changes on a grand scheme of things. So let me come over here to you guys. Let's show this first of all. Okay, guys. First of all, I would like to say thank you, my kids are brats, for being #1 and showing up for me. I appreciate that. And then let's see, D. Peterson, hi to you. Runs with Scissors, hey, hey, hey. Linus Knight, I'm so glad you made it. Yes. Thank you for talking with me yesterday privately. That I think we were both just kind of, our breath was taken away. So, hi Sheila Smokey, how you doing, love? Marilyn Noland. Rachel Knapstein says that Josh Call douche. I think all political people suck. They're all dirty turds in a bucket. I'm not going to try to pick one. I'll get my hands dirty. So, I mean that. I feel like if they get that position, they crawled through some shit to get there. They didn't stay clean, right? I'm just saying. And I watch a lot of videos and they're like, well, I swear, so if you don't like it, take a hard left. Well, I don't feel that way. I try not to swear, but we're all adults here, and this isn't made for kids. So every once in a while, it's appropriate. At least that's what I feel. I am feeling better. Um, I just kind of wore out of energy, you guys. I don't know how to explain it. I just, everything gets to you after a while, and you have to take care of you. My health has improved greatly since I took a huge step back and just kind of focused on healing within myself. And one of the problems was that I wasn't balanced. I wasn't showing that I was a seer. I have those abilities. I've hid them for a long time. Um, and so I was living this duplicate life, and Divine said, enough. There are those that are going to need your guidance. You will be able to help people. And I was terrified to come on here. I'm like, I'm going to lose subscribers. And then I heard my own advice being fed back at me, which is, it's not about subscribers. It's not about likes. I know everybody says, hit that like button and subscribe, leave your DNA. But the truth is, that just helps the algorithm so that you're shown more. Some people could take that egotistical and go, well, I had 10,000 views on this or whatever. Or I did that all by myself, or whatever they say. The truth is that this whole platform is a place to help people. That's what it's really about. It's about getting the truth out there. It's about public awareness. It has nothing to do with getting a cookie or wearing a crown for the day. I find it highly offensive to be considered, smarter than somebody else, because my entire channel is a conglomerate of all of you. I don't just sit here and on my very own I go, well, look at that. Once in a while I do. I've told you when it was my idea, but most of the time it comes from something you guys have posted, something you guys sent me, something you guys shared. My channel is your voice. It's important to me that you guys understand that. And if you do transition with me, we're going to grow. Just like in the beginning, when I started with the Sikiki note. Think how simple life was then. Nobody knew what the Sikiki note was. It was a 5-minute video that just introduced the facts. You can be doing that. Any of you can make this channel. And it's going to take a lot more of us, because it's going to take a dozen men and women to fill even a small portion of the contribution that Richard gave us. So I'm hoping more YouTubers start. I can't carry a lot of this weight. I work 60 hours in the last 3 days, and I'm exhausted. I came home, wolfed down some macaroni and cheese. Couldn't believe that even though I left my house clean, it was filthy when I come home. I'm a normal person, and I'm a normal housewife. I say wife, I'm not. I'm single, but that's beside the point. I don't even know why I said that. But let's get over here. Enough about me. Bridget Blair, how are you? She says, hi, sweetheart. Love y'all. And much love to Eric Cosium family and all the lovely people I've met through him and you. Yes, I can't imagine what Richard's family must be going through. My sincere condolences. And they are in my prayers, so there was a purpose to it. There had to be. I mean, that young, contributing as much as he was, he had a higher purpose that none of us, nor him, knew about. That's the only way I can accept it and understand it. So we're going to see, I believe, based on what I'm seeing in the cards and so forth, some forward movement in Brendan Dassey's case. And I couldn't imagine how that could happen. But we have a spiritual warrior that's got a direct connection to the divine, saying, my life mission was to bring this boy justice and peace and home. So I have high, high hopes. I have faith. I do. I hope you do too. The more positive thinking we've got, the more power our strengths are in faith, What am I talking about, Rachel? Um, just whatever we want to talk about. It's completely open. Um, oh, oh Lord. Okay. Um, some of you may not have known this. Yesterday morning at 7:20 a.m., Richard, aka Eric Cozy, had a heart attack and passed away. Um, and so I should have started there, and I humbly apologize. I was at work, so I was able to jump on some, and I thought it was well known. So, um, we have lost Richard. We're still all digesting it. We've got to figure out how to handle it in our own way. We'll have to gather as much as we can. I mean, he was so diligent. Nobody's going to shine as bright as him. Nobody. So we can only adjust and just hope that we make him proud. Hopefully he doesn't feel like we let him down. So we need to stay strong, and we need to be diligent. And I see Miss Piggy every day. And she's on Twitter talking about bringing Brendan home and that Rav. And I see a lot of you every day on there. Don't quit that. Please, please. I don't always have time to post, but I share when I can. And I think that helps a lot. Oh Lord, it's trying to install a new Windows update right in the middle of our live. Okay, let's come over here. Sheila Smokey says, "Hi Ducky. Can you do a tarot reading for Eric Cozy? Maybe he'll send us some clues in the case he worked on. Gonna miss him. He was such an excellent advocate for Brendan and Steve and others." Sheila, I personally am not able to do that because I'm I'm honestly grieving the loss of somebody that was keeping this case afloat, and passionately, and the emotional grieving I think we all feel. It's very raw, and perhaps someday in the future we could look at that, but right now my breath is a little taken away by it. I know that if there's a handful of us that come online and we all feel like brothers and sisters in a real way, even if we don't talk every day or we don't talk for months. We watch each other's channels and we bounce off each other, and it's a good feeling knowing we're not alone. And I feel like we all feel a little alone tonight without Richard. So I thought I'd come on and give us a platform to just hang, I'm not ready for anything more than that right now. So yes, I spoke with him about going to Wisconsin October. I've been gutted. That was Bridget Blair. And Rachel says he was talking about the rally in Madison in Eagle Nation in Wisconsin. Bridget Blair says his uncle told us to continue as his family last night. I see a lot of hearts on the screen. Patrick wanted to know if he was married and did he have kids. Dad. As far as I know, he was not married. I could be wrong. And I do not believe he had children, but I never personally asked him. But that was just my understanding. I could be completely wrong. Rachel's shocked. I'm sorry you had to find out that way, Rachel. Runs with Scissor says, I am flabbergasted. He was so wonderful and had great passion for the wrongfully convicted. Yeah, he was a truth seeker, you know. It was a mission. And Eric Cozy, he always taught me, keep it classy, you know. And that legacy that he leaves with us is stop bickering amongst yourself. Keep it fucking classy. It's ridiculous to think that people are so dead set on credit. What if that was your kid in that prison? Would you give a flying flute who found the evidence? Yeah, thank him later, but get him out. I mean, it's like Eric Cozy always kept it classy, and he always kept his head just a little bit above the cloud so that he could see the real big picture and the goal. And I've tried my best to follow in his steps, and I try not to talk negative about other YouTubers, even if I don't care about their personality. Maybe I don't like their personality. I still have a great deal of respect for what they do. And I also have a great deal of respect for all of those millions of people that are so dedicated to bringing home the truth and sending us YouTuber stuff, us creator stuff, because then we can share it, and then it makes somebody else think, and the next thing I know, we've gotten, I'm almost off camera. I wasn't watching. Sorry, you guys. I still haven't redone my room. I've been so busy. I'm sitting on the very end of my bed. So, okay, let's go over here. Sebram 100, Christine, good morning from Liverpool, England, UK. Rachel asks, she says, oh my God, how is Paul and Mark doing? Finn, all those guys, Sunshine. I was only able to catch on my breaks here and there on their broadcasts. I did private message Paul. He messaged back, you know. It's a huge loss, you guys. This isn't like a little bump on the road. Richard was the shining star. You know, I think they're all devastated, to be honest. I think it's going to affect all of our lives. How many of us would be driving somewhere and tune into one of his lives, or couldn't sleep, so you jump up so you can talk, or you can watch. I usually watched. Once in a while I'd comment, but I usually just drank in the information. And there was sometimes he would be working on Scotland stuff that I didn't even understand fully. I would still tune in a little bit, you know. He was a part of our lives, like a major part. And I think it's now that we all realize how much of a part of our lives he was. Even if you just were getting notices on your phone and you watched 1 out of 5, his dedication meant that you were watching him 3 times a week. You know, it's our community. We're going to have to pull very tight, because I think this can suck the wind out of some people's sails, but that would really be the opposite of what he wants. We have to focus on getting to the real truth. Bridget Blair says, I watch because I dig you, Ducky. Doesn't matter the subject. I love you, Bridget Blair. She also says, at Rachel, everyone is taking especially hard. I watched for 8 hours last night. Not one dry eye. For real. I mean, nobody can ever come up to me or you and say, Richard was rude to me. No, he wasn't. Or, you know, he was just this kind. He had them apple cheeks. I always thought of him as apple pie American guy, you know. I know Paul always called him the dude, you know. And it brought it brought emotion to the case. It brought family and camaraderie, and he didn't just talk about it, he lived it. He got that banner out every time, every town he went to, every place he went to. He talked to strangers. I have met with locals that told me that they approached him and he talked to them just as friendly as he could be. He never really, I've never heard a bad thing about him, ever. And that's hard in this business because, unfortunately, there are those out there that consider this a competition, which it's beyond my understanding how you can consider that. I see Brendan Dassey very much in my mind as a mom's child in there, and I can completely relate. So it offends me very much to have people bickering and acting silly and claiming something and whatever. It makes my teeth hurt. It makes me just want to squeeze my eyes really tight and be like, say a bunch of naughty stuff and be like, get your head out of your ass and either get the hell over there and do some research and get it done, or shut up or something. Because when you guys start going at each other's throat, you have to remember, take the high road, be classy. That's what he did. That's what Richard always did. He was amazing at it. And he knew how to communicate in such a way that you just couldn't deny what he was saying was simple to the point and true. Just nailed it. What takes me, 6 weeks to say, Eric Cozy could say in like 5 seconds. He'd be like, well, that won't work. He would say about the dust on the bullet. He's like, how's that happen, huh? How is there no dust on a bullet when they jackhammered the garage floor? He left it that simple. And no matter what you do, you can't get past the fact there should have been dust all over the bullet in the garage. But there wasn't any of it. So therefore, it's simple. He hit the control question a lot. Brendan didn't know the answer to the control question. I always felt that was probably one of the most poignant points and should have been brought up when Brendan's whole thing happened at the end there, when we went back in. Anyway, let's get back over here. Yeah, Bridget, can you do that? If you'll do the family, there's a family link to a GoFundMe. I know there was a fake one and that got removed by the company, but there is a family one. If you want to put it up there, I would gladly offer that to people. All I got to do is hit the approve. So if you'll please do that and we can help. I'm sure there's not a lot of preparations. Richard was not a rich man. Richard, I read today in one of the posts that he said he couldn't afford to go to the doctor. That's why he didn't go in when his chest was hurting, which breaks my heart because, there are those people that have accused us YouTubers of making a fortune, and we just don't argue it because we know it's not true. You hit, I think it's like about $1,000 of your own money going in the case per year. And that usually balances out with generous donations or something to where you break even. That's what it works out to be. That's the truth. So if you're going into this, know that ahead of time. Bridget Blair says, yes, I was going to make my first trip to Wisconsin. Not married, no kids, an aunt, uncle, and awesome brother and cousins. Rachel says, rest in peace, Richard. You will be sadly missed. Yes. Bridget also says there is the GoFundMe page. So, yes, if somebody can get that out, I'm going to scroll down and see if that's been posted, that I can offer it. Yeah, if we can get that, that would be great. I'm just reading to see if there's something Bridget Blair says, yes, Ducky, he's up there working with the angelic side now. You know, we got the activation card in tarot cards on Brendan's case, which showed, I mean, of all the cards to get, it was divine activation. I personally believe that once we pass out of this flesh, that our spirit rejoins source. And so if my belief is true, source would have been communicating to us that there would have been more data being received at a latter date that would help put some change, some forward motion in Brendan's case. So I'm very hopeful that there is this change that we all see, because we need it. We need it so bad. We need to know that this ends well, right? That it, I mean, like I said in the beginning, Stephen Avery has succeeded in leading many millions of people's eyes to be awoken to the corruption. And when people say, well, I'm waking up, yeah, when you start realizing that the media is fake. I mean, think of all this sex trafficking of children and the names coming out on these lists and this Pizzagate stuff. And yet, where is our media? They're talking about masks. When we have millions of children disappearing, and they're focused on 119 people in my county over the last 6 months passed away from COVID. And I'm not even going to get into any of those details. I'm just saying the media is not focusing on our children. Why didn't we hear in the news about YouTube selling all those children's private information and getting fined by COPA? Why wasn't there a whole big deal about how selling these... I'm going to lose my platform if I keep talking, I'm sure. But I've got Vimeo. But yeah, I am doing tarot card reading tomorrow. I'm going to do a general for everybody. And then if you guys want personal reads, let me know. There was someone whose niece contacted me, and they had asked for a personal read for them and their friend. So if you're watching this now or later, please resend that, because when this information about Richard happened, like, all my phone blew up. I'm talking hundreds of messages, and I've lost where I'm supposed to be helping this young lady. So I still have a few openings in August if you're interested, and I do think that it does help a lot. It helps a lot to know, like, if maybe you should get your heart checked. I'm just saying, it gives you heads up. Hey, it runs off of your own tuition, your own, like, guys will call it, I feel it in my gut, there was something wrong. How did you know that? Well, women call it intuition. I call it, like, source giving me an understanding that I need to pay attention to something, or that I'm on the right track. So that's why I do it. But 1111 Tarot is something that I am going to be doing tomorrow. Let's get back over here for a little bit. Hi, Robert. Robert Novatine's here. Hi, Rubber Ducky. Been sad after hearing about Eric Cozy. I keep thinking that, like, it's not gonna happen. I know I shouldn't think that way, but I'm on such a sleep pattern at work that I'm not getting to sleep. So when I woke up today, I was okay for a little bit, and then it dawned on me, and I was like, I I'm like, I don't even want to do a live. And then after a little while, I was like, well, I kind of want to talk to people. I kind of want to get some stuff off my chest. I kind of want to let people know what's going on. I'm exhausted. So if any of this makes sense to you guys, that's wonderful, because like I haven't had any decent sleep in 3 days, literally. I'm running on very little sleep. But I mean, we needed to talk. We needed to talk. Marilyn Nolan says, way too many people trying to be top dog RD. Bridget Blair says, I don't mean to be so chatty, just have lots of anxiety and grief since yesterday. Bridget, I am never one to be like, oh my gosh, that person posted 80 times, knock them out the thing. You can post as much as you want. I enjoy any comments you guys want to share, you know that. And I feel like we all need to vent. That's why I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm just a normal person like you. I came home, I left the house clean, went to work, worked my hours, passed my medications to everybody. I'm exhausted. I drove home. Had to work a little bit late. Somebody showed up late, whatever. I get home, I walk in. Not a clean dish in the house. I can't even make a bowl of macaroni and cheese. So yeah, I got teenagers that when mom's home, oh yeah, chores are done. When mom's gone, they act like I'm never coming back and I'm never going to be mad. And you'd think after 1 million times of me walking in the door and going, really? Really? I mean, there's times, y'all, when I've cleaned this house so spotless and left to work, and I know it's going to be bad when I come home, that I'll like not come home right away because they're teenagers. I'll like go to the dock. We have a fishing dock down the road real early in the morning. I'll just sit out there and watch water and listen to frogs and stuff and get calm so that when I come home, I don't like lose my shit and start screaming at sleeping kids, because obviously it didn't do any good when I've done that in the past. I love my children, but I'd love them even more if they would clean. And not even clean, just pick up after themselves, you know? So there, I vented on silly stuff. There's no subject off limits, you guys. Okay? All right, let's see what else we got. Bridget said she spoke with Richard the evening before. Yeah, it hurts because it's very unexpected. I lost a friend of mine once to suicide and had no clue. It was 2 nights before. We had been laughing and having fun, playing this game where you put headphones on and then one person talks to you and you have to read their lips and guess what they're saying. And it gets hysterical. We played that game. I mean, she was just laughing so hard with us all. And then 2 days later, she had hung herself at the park. And I'll never forget her. And I call her Tinkerbell because that's what I call her. So when you lose someone, I think the hardest part is that we have to figure out how to fill that spot. And sometimes we can't. Like with Richard, you're not going to, you guys. I'm sorry. We're never going to fill that spot because he set the bar so high with respect and honesty and cheerfulness and dedication and loyalty and generosity and kindness and love for what he did, and that passion that we just have to know that we gained a spirit warrior, and we now have that on our side. That's the good we can take away from the losses. That's how I'm digesting it. I mean, we're all real people here, right? We all know there is not another Richard. So now what we've got to do is we have to readjust. We have to figure out, there'll be the groups that are able to carry on certain parts of his work, but it's going to take us all to do it. That's the amazing part about who he was. It's going to take each of us to be able to do what he did. It's the truth. Bridget Blair says something he would say. Richard would say, how was there no DNA? I mean, that's what I mean. He would say something that's just simple, but it weighed so much to it because it wasn't confusing. It wasn't like a guilter could argue it. It just left you sitting there going, yeah, that ain't right, is it? You know? And Robert Novatine says, Eric Cozy will never be forgotten. He was, ma'am. Great man that went over and beyond for followers. Disingenuous, Robert. Rachel Knapson used the word disingenuous. Truthfully, he loved the word because it was his way of respectfully saying that the case was based off of bullshit. And he always kept it classy. So he used what Zellner had said, disingenuous. It was simple, but it was complicated at the same time. It said so much in such a simple way. And it weighed. It had weight. Rachel Knapson said he just switched his plane ticket, had to pay $95 more to switch it for Wisconsin. Bridget says, this is the family GoFundMe set up by his first cousin. Becca N says, that breaks my heart hearing about him. Rachel Knapston says, oh my God, I have to go. Everyone, rest in peace, Richard. Love you, Rachel. Jake says he had COVID. Well, I'm glad to know you're well, that you've recovered, Jake. Becca N says, I would be interested in a reading. All right, Becca. Let me put this up here for you. And we can do it face-to-face on Messenger chat, where you do like the video chat. And then you can see the cards themselves. And I've been doing quite a few of these. And I can tell you, they're right on. You'll connect. It'll resonate. So just email me there. And we can set up a time. Okay? Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to be able to get to do more and more of the personal reads because it's so much easier when you're not trying to focus in on a huge, great energy. You have to keep it broad spectrum to understand it, or you'll have 5,000 different details if you have 5,000 different people. Whereas a personal read allows me to focus in on what you're wanting to do because I know that the cards apply to you, or your person, or the energies around you, your environment. So, Julie Johnson says, brokenhearted here. As we are. Yeah, absolutely. Slayer Rocks 2 is here. Good to see you. They say, so long, our fallen brother. Have a drink ready for me when I get there. He'll have some Dr. Pepper for you. Julie Johnston says, sorry at Bridget, too tired to spell. Paula Bradley says, thank you for coming on here, Junkie. It's hard to talk to people about losing someone you only knew online. Well, you know what? I don't think it is about... Think of all the time in your day you spent. Like, let's say it was a coworker at work. You might spend more time with that coworker than you do your own family. Or if it's something like this isn't just a normal... You guys know our ma'am family. We're not normal. We're obsessive. We're compulsive. We're impulsive. we keep our mind wide open. We're digging into stuff at 4 in the morning. I mean, what other type of genre has 9-hour chats, for God's sakes? We spend a lot of time being real, like getting to know each other. Like, you think I went and did anything with myself before I came on here? Not a thing. I literally just worked 26 hours, took a 5-hour nap, ate a half a box of macaroni in a dirty kitchen, and jumped on here. And then I'm going to go to sleep, wake up, and have to clean this little house because nobody else is going to do it. And I'm excited. My go-to point where I'm like, hey, when I get all that other crap done, my excitement is to get to come and hang with you guys and do 11:11 tarot, because I feel like it gives us an uplifting feeling to know that we can choose to have heads up if something isn't working out for us in the future. Maybe there's some warning signs ahead that we don't see. If we know, for instance, someone did my tarot reading and they were like, hey, you need to get your tires checked on your car. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with my tires. Well, on the way home tonight, thank God I had checked them, because there was an Amish buggy, and what I did not know was over the top of, coming up over the hill this way, was a whole onslaught of about 30 children on bicycles. So here I am, he's going putt, putt, putt 15 miles an hour, and I'm going to pass, but I can't because it's a hill. And so I'm like, oh, I'll just sit right here. No. I obeyed the law, but the next guy comes whipping up behind me, and he almost hits everybody. And I have to like slam my brakes on and do a little squeak, squeak to avoid everybody. Nobody got hurt. But it was weird because I started to think about passing, and then I remembered something about her saying, be more cautious. And there's, check your car, there may be something with tires. So while I was driving, I was a little bit more apprehensive. I was just drove a little slower. I took time to pay more attention, and it was just because she had given me that knowledge. I was also deep in my head because I was going over this whole situation where we had, I was overtired, and I was thinking about Richard, and I was thinking about coming on the live and coming home to a messy house, and all that was going on. So my mind was not on my road as much, except for that plate in my head. And I was like, ooh, this looks like it could be that moment I was told about. Maybe I should go a little slower. So it does help for things like that, Let's see here. Brenda Kress says, did you see Paul Capaldi? I was able to jump on some of his broadcasts where he had the groups of other mammers, just here and there when I was on break and stuff. And I did make some comments. Becca N says, thank you. Email you right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. Brenda Kress says, tribute for Eric Cozy earlier today. Such a sad day. Him and I, we both have these, blue eyes, and we were born on the same birthday, and I always felt like he was like a twin warrior in this fight against corruption. I let him do his thing, he let me do mine. We always just hats off to each other. It was just a mutual respect, and it was honest, and it was real. And so I kind of felt like, I don't know, part of us got removed, a little part of us got taken, and that's what we got to remember, is that when we pass on, if you have faith and you believe, you really just lose your skin, you put your skin in the game, you lose it, and then you go on to fight a spiritual battle. And I guess the way we have to look at this is we just gained a hell of a spiritual warrior, man. Just amazing. And I really, really, really feel hope in seeing those cards saying activation in Brendan's case. I really feel, because that came a week before. I really feel that if there is any way that Richard can put in a good word, he will. He will. Richard Novatine says, thanks, Rubber Ducky, for doing this chat. You're a wonderful person. Appreciate your time going to bed, or try to. Thank you, Robert. Sweet dreams. Be well. And much love to you. Julie Johnson says, good night. Good night, sweet Richard. Good night, Julie, love. Yeah, I'm going to get off here too pretty quick. Polyester, every time you come on, I feel so bad because I'm leaving. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes with you because I left right when you came on last time and I felt guilty, but I had to go to work then. But I don't have to go to work now, so I'll stay on for a few more minutes to be with you. I'm so grateful for you coming on to a live, Polyester. I appreciate it. Bridget Blair says, just emailed you GoFundMe info. YouTube won't let me post. Okay. I don't know how to get it while I'm live, so I'm not sure how to get it on there. I'll tell you what, you guys. You can go on to Paul Capaldi's channel and watch his other lives, and I believe that the link is in the chat and you can grab it there. Otherwise, once I get off here, I will make a tweet that has the link for the GoFundMe for that family of Richard, aka Eric Cozy, and that will help them because this was not expected and they need all our support that we can give them at this time, emotional, financial, whatever we can give to that family is going to at least keep them from having to be distracted on stupid stuff at a time like this. So please, if you haven't donated, please do, and just make Richard proud of us and keep tweeting, keep working on it, you know. Protection First says, God bless you. Aw, thank you. My Kids Are Brat says, my birthday is the 4th. I'm blessed God gives me another day to be with my kids. You know, we have Monday night the 3rd. Well, it's Monday night for me in my part of the world, but on the 3rd of August in central Wisconsin is going to be our full moon. And spiritually speaking, this is a Cancerian moon, and it's a time of, if you have Cancer in your chart, it's a wish. And I also know that we have millions of people that have been working behind the scene, networking, to get a mass vibration sent out of protection and justice for sexual assaulted victims, whether they were women or children. We are sending out protection and justice to them, and that's what we're doing. So if you have time and you see that full moon, please send up with your spoken words the intent of what you want the universe to reflect, because that's what we've got to do. You know, that's why there's these get rich schemes and stuff, because if you manifest by sending out the vibe of what you want, the universe has no choice but to reflect it. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow night is millions of people across this planet are coming together in the sense of spiritually we are going to be sending and broadcasting our spoken words of justice and protection for those innocents, especially those sexually assault victims and those that have been killed. You know, we have children that are being harvested for their organs and being traded, and we have to, as ugly as that is, we have to get to the bottom of it and expose it and stop it. Just get it to quit. We have to protect our children. Again, I'm going to say what I usually do. It comes down to, well, think about it, you guys. Like, we had that video that I did where I was talking to the zippers, Corey and Stacy, and right in the middle of me talking, home alone, somebody said, Michael, very loudly. I mean, you can go back and hear it. It's at the 2-minute mark, and it's a zipper video, and it's not me. It's nobody on the call. That's an EMF. We had it analyzed. It's an EMF. It Wasn't something that I know that I heard. It just was on the recording. But so if you look up Angel Michael, you know, the protector of children, that's my calling. And so as we move forward, we have to wake up to protect our kids. We got to get to where we realize that it's fake news being fed to us. Kratz taught us that, you know. I have a link at Protection First. If you'd like, you can email me. Yes, if we will be tweeting the link for the family GoFundMe for Eric Cozy. So Kitty Karina, how do we get to heaven? Well, everybody has to figure that out. How do you get to heaven? That's something you know in your own heart. And my personal belief is that heaven is within you now. I believe that Spirit walks with you from the time that you took a breath, and your first breath. And I think that we have free will, and until we accept guidance, we just allow ourselves to struggle, you know. And once we accept guidance, I believe that we can be shown true happiness by understanding basically a form of quantum physics and understanding how this whole thing works. But I do believe it's that we're spiritually based too. But I think your answer is how do you get to heaven is known within yourself. And when you dig in, you'll know the answers. It's just we don't always want to purge to get there, you know. It takes purging of some of the darkest places of your soul to be able to walk in the truth. You know, we've all done some stuff that, God, you just wish you hadn't have done. You just wish you could go back and be like, why did I do that? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to whatever. And sometimes it's pieces of you that you revisit too often. Once you've said you're sorry, you got to let it go. When you really mean it, when you regret what you did to the point that you can't sleep at night, you are feeling sorry for it. You really are repenting. And you can't repent the rest of your life. That's not what you're supposed to do. You repent for what you did wrong, and that is just basically allowing yourself to grieve for how improper you believe you behaved. And then you have to move on and up your vibration, because the point of it is not to keep, whipping your own back, but to move ahead and to use your time wisely to learn from whatever it is. And when you get to the point to where you feel like you've explored every crevice of every dark alley, I think then you get to where your heaven is when you stop fearing and you start living. And it takes time. It takes a lot of research, but I think it's all answers within yourself. Myra Peddington says, finally got the grandbaby to sleep. First time she stayed, but mommy just had a new baby, but I made it. Ah, congratulations, Myra. Oh, to smell that little sweetheart and rock. And I can remember rocking them babies to sleep, and you'd be like, okay, they're good asleep now. I'm going to move. And you'd be so good carrying them all the way to their little bed. You're going to lay them down. As soon as you put them down on that bed, their little crib, they're like, and you're like, shh, 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 shh. Oh, I had back-to-back babies when they were young. They're 16, 17 now. Whew. I think we all deserve a badge when you pull that and you get them 2 in a row. Polyester says, that's okay. I'm listening to you while I'm in bed. And Protection First says, please let me know how I can help and support the family. Absolutely will, Protection. Like I said, you could email Bridget, or also I'll be putting it on Twitter tonight yet. I just got to get it out of my email when I'm off the live that Bridget sent me, and then I'll tweet it so that we make sure and get as much support to the family as we can at this time. You can email Bridget at bridget159196 4@yahoo.com. Again, that's Bridget159196. Bridget 159196 4@yahoo.com. Protection first says God protects his people. Myra says, thank you, Ducky. And yes, that's exactly how that happened. Yeah. All right, lovelies. Just love you all so much. I really do. And you were the highlight of my day, honestly. I feel better after talking to you guys. I've been feeling kind of alone through this because, you know, but I want to leave you with the final thought, and that's this. When we leave this planet, may we all aspire to leave a legacy as beautiful as Richard, aka Eric Cozy, did. And with that, love you guys so much. Peace out. Much love.